Good morning and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a hike up to the Raven Rock Outlook, and it's something I haven't done at sunset yet, so just gonna check it out, see if we can get anything cool, and yeah, go hang out a bit, watch the sunset. All right, we made it up here at the Outlook, and so far the sunset has not disappointed. We're having a beautiful golden hour right now with some cloud cover. We've got some rain off in the distance, and of course the sea of green that you get in North Carolina. This is probably one of the higher points that you can actually look out in the whole area, so pretty neat that way. It's pretty accessible and easy to get to too. But I wanted to get up here to talk about a few life changes that I've had recently. I have a newborn now at home, and to say that I'm tired would be an understatement. It's caused me to rethink a lot of my priorities and how I am efficient with time, and so far I'm really trying to kind of restructure my life a little bit. As I was looking through my old photos, trying to figure out how I can get the best photos with limited time, I came across a trend that I noticed that the first photos that I take whenever I get to a place oftentimes are some of my favorites, or at least some of the best, compositionally, some of the best photos that I've taken. And I'm trying to think why that is. Why is it that the less time I spend at an area almost, and less time thinking about something, the better I do? And I came across this topic called the law of reversed effort, which is the idea that the harder you try at something, the harder it is to accomplish that thing. So sleeping is oftentimes a really big example of this, a prime example of this, where the harder you the harder you try to fall asleep, the harder it is to fall asleep. And I think that definitely relates to photography in a big way. The harder you try to compositionally make the photo correct, or whatever it is with the light or the subject, or however you want that photo to be perfect, the harder it is for all of those elements to align and become perfect. So I think the nature of showing up and taking the first shots of the things that you see right off the bat, the things that your brain is trained to just pick out and that you notice that are beautiful, oftentimes result in good pictures, or pictures that you can at least learn from and capture those elements later. Okay, it's starting to rain, and I wasn't planning on that. We're like a mile up here, so I probably should start trekking down and finish this video a little bit later, maybe back at home or in the car or something. So yeah. Okay, finishing this at home. Oh my gosh, last night was nuts. Driving back, the rain actually stopped for a second and this lightning storm came in, so I had to stop at Campbell University to take a few shots of some old buildings with the lightning around them, and it was pretty cool. I've never shot lightning before, so it was just kind of a fun experiment to just try to catch some. And then the rain just all of a sudden came in, and in North Carolina you usually have two rain settings. You have sprinkles, or you have like torrential downpour. And the reason why I left previous when I was up at Raven Rock was just because I was afraid of the downpour, and the downpour hit and it was just nuts. Driving back in that was like, it's hard. Visibility is basically zero. But anyways, back to the law of reversed effort and how it can affect photography. I have an example of a photo that I really like. I like the whole area. It was just beautiful, and this is along the Oregon coast. And the longer I seemed to stay in this area, or this one spot really, the harder it was for me to get the photograph that I really liked. I was trying to line that rock up with the other rock while avoiding the port over to the right, and it just didn't, nothing really seemed to click very well. A lot of my photographs from this scene ended up with some distracting elements, of course the under and overexposure because of the sun and the shadows, and it just, nothing seemed to click the way I wanted it to. And I think ultimately the moral of the story here is to move frequently and to not overthink the photography process. I know that can be a hard thing not to do, avoiding the stationary, immobile type photography where you're just afraid to miss the moment, so you better stay put kind of deal. But I think that by moving around, you can make your effort more productive, and I think it truly helps to avoid the reversed effort feel, or in this case, overthinking a photograph that I know actually that I got better photos when I first just showed up and spent the first like half an hour there just kind of visualizing what was around me, understanding what I wanted in the photograph, and not spending hours in one spot trying to get all of the things force it into one photograph. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful with the discussion of the law of reversed efforts. I think it's incredibly interesting and definitely something to keep in mind, especially when you're out in the field and feeling stuck. I think we've all been there where the scene and the elements in the environment just aren't lining up the way you want them to make the photograph that you had envisioned. And I think it's also important to just stop trying so hard. Maybe that's the secret. Just let things go and let things flow naturally, and good photographs will follow. So anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and as always, I will see you in the next one.